I like the Limp Bizkit.
Dirty Mosher. Yeah! Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, audience.
This week we're going to be reviewing the album
The End So Far.
The End So Far by Slipknot. Tell me, were you ever a Slipknot fan?
No, I like some of the singles, even though I was a metalhead.
Dirty Mosher.
Yeah, but it was too dirty for me. It was too aggressive, and it didn't sound like music to me. Whereas some of the other thing had like melody, and this was just like
just shouty,
a lot of
distorted
stuff thrown at you, which I guess a lot of new metal was. How about you?
No, at the time, the only Slipknot I really knew was through Guitar Hero, which I think is a common theme for like, music that I came across. It was either in Tony Hawk or on Guitar Hero. I knew
Before I Forget.
Yeah.
So that is like my favourite Slipknot song because it doesn't sound like Slipknot.
It's very like you say, you can hum along to the there's a melody in it.
There's a song there.
Yeah. So yeah, I get that. But yeah, at the time, it was, like, bear in mind when it was, I was going to say when it was cool to like Slipknot, but was it ever really? When it was cool within certain circles to like Slipknot, my favourite bands were like Bowling for Soup, so it was a lot heavier than what I was used to. I
liked heavier music than Slipknot, it's just never caught on for me.
Did you listen to new metal in general?
Only what came up on Kerrang, like, unfortunately Limp Bizkit. But again, I would never search these bands out because they didn't interest me enough. I just thought, the songs are good, but I can't imagine them actually creating an album of music worth listening to. Just
like the ones that you come across organically. Yeah, fair enough. I was never really a fan of new metal in general, I don't think. Like, it was only a couple of weeks ago that I listened to Hybrid Theory in full, which is like probably the most revered new metal album.
Yeah, probably. Even then, I just Linkin Park. Like, I like some of it, but I can't imagine sitting there now. Maybe when I was like an angsty little teen. It's like, oh yeah, crawling in my skin. Yeah, that would probably be right up my alley, but now it just seems completely anachronistic for me to listen to that. It's just not my jam anymore.
Too cool for it now.
Just too relaxed.
How about the album art? Do you remember the album art?
Yeah, it just didn't lead me to believe anything about the album. It was just, a messed up face.
Yeah.
I've only just realised it was actually a face. At first I thought it was just a bunch of blended colours, but yeah, it's a messed up face.
It's a real mushed up face, isn't it? So, it looks, through my limited knowledge of Slipknot, it looks like it's a Slipknot album. Like, it's...
I don't even know what the other albums look like.
Neither do I, but I mean, like, for the genre of, like, aggressive...
Yeah, it's going to punch you in the face and leave you with a messed up Slipknot face.
I was reading before. I know that the idea of this album is to be family friendly, and this statement may not...
What?
No, I mean the show that we're doing.
I thought you meant the album was
I think I might have said the album, but I mean, because we try not to swear and stuff. So, bear with me here.
Well, one of us does anyway.
Have you heard of a band called Cock Rock?
A band?
A band called Cock Rock.
No.
So there was, in 2005, Burger King set up a band called Cock Rock. I think it was a death metal band.
Burger King?
Burger King. Slipknot tried to sue Burger King because Cock Rock all wore, like, chicken masks and stuff, and they were saying they're stealing our image.
I forgot Slipknot with that famous chicken band.
Oh, for like people watching, I'll put an image on the screen of Cock Rock, but I did have it up on here before. There's Cock Rock.
Well,
So, I mean, Slipknot tried to sue them.
Wasn't Guava a thing before Slipknot?
Well, that's basically why it got thrown out, because Burger King was saying, right, so there's you, there's Mushroom Head, there's like...
Mushroom Head.
There's Kiss, who obviously don't wear masks, but have facial stuff going on. So they're like, you don't own...
Yeah, they have facial stuff going on.
Facial stuff? Am I wrong?
They wear paint.
Bringing us to this album, So Near Yet So Far, I believe it's called.
No.
So
The End So Far.
The End So Far. So, I know briefly before we started recording, I was asking what you thought of it. So if you want to let the listeners at home.
Can I just ask what the point of that cockroach story was? It didn't tie into anything.
It's just interesting, isn't it? Like, it's to do with Slipknot.
And that's it.
Yeah. But it's just an interesting story. Burger King had a death metal band dressed up like
an advert
chickens.
for Burger King.
By Burger King, if you want to sponsor us.
Yeah, I've said that name a lot.
Yeah.
KFC and whatever.
Yeah, there are other places available, but mainly Burger King. Yeah, so what did you make of this album?
Unlistenable for the most part.
That's a strong opinion.
Yeah, I've heard some Slipknot before and it's never enticed me. Like, there was one album called Volume 3 Subliminal Verses, which is what Before I Forget and Duality were off. And some of that I could get through. And when I heard this was meant to be more in the same vein as that, like experimental, I thought, oh, this might actually be okay. And then when the first song Adderall came on, and it sounded nothing like Slipknot, I was encouraged. And then the rest of the album played through, and I thought, well, that was disappointing. Because they do experiment with different things, like there's black metal bits in there, there's
some blast
death
beats
metal, and it's just not good.
I enjoyed it. That first song, Adderall, I did think there was like a glitch or something going on with Apple Music because I like playing it and I was just like, this isn't Slipknot. I don't know Slipknot that well, but it doesn't sound like Slipknot to me. It didn't even sound like Corey Taylor. It wasn't even like I could kind of link anything there. Obviously it was him, but yeah, I was just like, okay, well, this is very strange. It's basically, I would call it like soft rock.
It was like, mid-paced rock, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then the second song comes in, sounds like what I expect Slipknot to sound like. I would say it is quite melodious.
It's odious. No, it has, like, I don't know, it's just too much all of the same thing. And I was reading the lyrics as it went through, and a lot of them were just like different words put together to indicate certain themes.
Okay.
Like, they just didn't make any sense. They were just there to be like, oh, there's another word that means that. It's like, put together by children.
I've not looked at the lyrics, so I can't really comment on that. And the nature of the music is you don't really hear the lyrics that much. Like, maybe listen to it a few times before you pick up what they say, but
that's
it's
why
not...
I thought after a few songs, I'm not going to go back to this album, so I want to know
Right.
what they're saying now, so I don't have to investigate any further.
Yeah, the songs that stood out to me, I did like Adderall. I liked, I'm assuming it's pronounced Hell. It looks like H377. Is it HE77? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 377,
Yeah. And Yen.
There was a bit of a song, like the chorus to... Which one is it? Medicine for the Dead.
Yeah.
That was...
Medicine for the Dead.
Yeah, I thought that was good, but the rest of the song was really bad.
I didn't dislike any of the songs. I've listened to it a few times because I knew we'd be doing this. Will I go back to it? Probably not, but I say that's probably more because it's not the kind of genre that I tend to listen to anyway. If I was really into new metal, death metal and stuff, maybe I would, but for me, like, I can sit through it and I can enjoy it, but it didn't wow me to the point where...
There wasn't any earworms, like, it didn't make me think, oh, I need to hear that again.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't interesting enough, it was just like having a shovel to your face. And like there were different elements, but it was just like, yeah, I expect that to be there. The black metal bits, I was like, why is that there? I'm like,
right.
You're not a black metal band. It just seems like, oh, there's a heavy song.
Right.
Right, okay. Just give up, Slipknot. No one cares anymore.
Are you listening, Corey?
Yeah, no one's shocked.
I guess, yeah, because the way that they are, they're very... I've never seen them live, but you can assume based on how they look and the sound of them and stuff, they are kind of theatrical.
Yeah,
they're
meant to be like really good live.
Yeah. I guess like with you saying shock rock and stuff, like it's maybe one of those bands where they're a lot better live than on the studio album because there's a lot of visuals going on as well.
Yeah.
I can't really comment because I've not seen them live, but I could imagine that. I was going to say, are there any standout songs for you, but you said Adderall, the chorus of Medicine for the Dead.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's about it.
I couldn't say... I can't remember any of the other songs.
Fair enough.
And I've seen the titles and I was like, yeah, it doesn't recall anything for me.
Right. I've already said the ones that I liked. I liked Adderall, I liked Yen, and I liked Hell. If you were to put a number on it.
Oh, she's got a hat.
I know a lot. So out of 10, what would you rank the album?
2.
Straight up 2. Bad album.
Yeah, it's a bad album. Very few redeeming features. I guess it depends what you're looking for. Like, if you just want an average metal album, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, but then the nature of average would be that it's a 5.
Yeah, but an average metal album to me is a 2, because it's shocking.
Overall, I did enjoy it. So it would be over 5 for me. But I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't particularly say it's a great album. It's a good album, not a great album. I'd probably sit at around 6.
Wouldn't a good album merit some, like, re-listening after this, though?
Well, not necessarily, because I can sit and enjoy something. There's lots and lots of music out there, so I'd probably only go back to, like, the stuff that I really, really like.
Even stuff like just stuff you like. Like, the 3 songs you've just mentioned there as your favourite ones, would you not think, I'm going to go back to this album for them?
Maybe not the whole album, but I'd maybe go back to those songs if I'm just feeling like I want some angry music. Then sure, I could see myself putting that on a playlist. So, yeah, so I'd probably sit at around 6, which would average out between us. If you're saying 2, I'd average out at 4. Oh, it is like, we should probably mention, we should mention that this is number 1 in the UK charts at the minute. I don't follow the charts that much, which we are planning to do more, because the idea of this is that we're going to start following, seeing what's new in the charts each week.
Keep up with the kids.
Yeah, see what's cool, what's hip and happening, what's hip-hop happening.
Slipknot. That band from like 30 odd years ago.
But like, I'm sure there's not many metal bands that get even in the top 10 in the album charts. I know Metallica do. Does anything else come to mind?
I don't even look at them, to be honest. I wouldn't even know.
But that's impressive. Like, even if you don't like their music,
I think metal's one of the only genres where people still buy an album.
Yeah, I think
that probably influences
Slipknot's probably not going to get in the chart singles album.
No.
You are quite right. Like, rock and metal and stuff does tend to do well in the album charts rather than the singles charts. But still, to get to number 1...
I'm just going to pick up on something you just said there that you can edit out.
What?
Slipknot's not going to end up in the singles album. What?
Yeah. And I stand by that. Thank you very much. Any closing statements? Anything you want to say?
If you like metal, don't listen to this album.
Have you heard, like, do you just, like, from the other Slipknot songs from the past, like, could you compare it with the other albums? Like, would you say, like, it's one of the better albums of Slipknot or the worst albums?
I've only ever heard one Slipknot album in full, apart from this one. And that one was better than this.
Right.
And even then, I wouldn't go back to that.
I've not heard another Slipknot album front to back, so I couldn't say, but I was just wondering if you could.
Yeah.
But anyway, music. Is it good, though?
No.
Bye, then.
Bye.
Yeah! If you enjoyed this review of Slipknot that got number 1, let us consider what got number 2, what Slipknot beat.
Oh, God.
Which is The Snuts.
What's the album called?
Burn the Empire. Is it better?
It's a terrible name for a band.
The Snuts.
Yeah.